Hello everyone, GreymanX6 here, and I got another unboxing video. Unfortunately, the only one I think I'm going to be able to squeeze in before I take a road trip soon. So, of all the stuff I still got to do, I decided to go with Maximum Deadpool since a lot of other reviews of him are hitting YouTube, and I've been really anxious to unbox this guy. I completely passed on the Spider-Man and Hulk Maximum versions because I didn't feel like the price was justified, especially with Hulk. But what's been said about that one that hasn't been said already? And I haven't had a comic book Deadpool in years. In fact, this is the only one I have right now that came out in 2018. Before this, I had this weird knockoff version of the Toy Biz one that came in the 2-pack with Warpath. Oops. Alright, yeah, this is the retro-carded one that had the shiny metallic blue paint instead of the black, reminiscent of some of his first appearances. This is a pretty good one. I don't have all the accessories here, but oh yeah, and look at this. Some detail and paint on the handgun. Yeah, for a while this made me happy. Yet, soon after I ordered this off of Hasbro Pulse, they introduced the movie version with that 2-pack with Negasonic T-Hates Warhead, which, of course, I passed on it then, but I did get the Legacy version that I put on my computer desk with some of my other movie versions of characters. And I still like this guy. I mean, I love the texture work. Articulation's great. Came with a lot of accessories, but all I really need for him is the baby knife, the katanas, and the 2 Desert Eagles. This guy's still a lot of fun, but I decided when I saw the Maximum Deadpool revealed, it was time to upgrade the comic book version. I did not bother getting the San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack with what's-his-name, Agent Bob, that was on the Renew Your Vows body. I did not update to the Deadpool and Wolverine movie buck, but we're going to go ahead and open them up. Okay, easy does it. I want to save the box. Yeah, let's see what we got. Oakley dokley, alrighty then, we got Deadpool out of the package, along with Dupe. For now, I went ahead and only removed all the accessories and stuff from the first sleeve. We got a whole other one there. Makes sense that we got more than one thing full of accessories. That's how stuff like Mafex and Mezco and Revoltech do it, and this is kind of Hasbro's attempt to compete with those higher-end brands, kind of get some of that market in. But do they succeed? Well, let's have a look at the figure himself. Well, I do like the more matte finish. There's still a bit of glowiness of luster there, but it's definitely more matte than the 80th anniversary retro-carded Deadpool, and maybe even a little more matte than the movie version. And I've looked at the Juggernaut Wave one, whereas this parts were painted on before. Now it's sculpted, even around the neck. And you got a lot of sculpted detail on the shin guards. You got like little dings and scratches, battle damage, although it looks like it was... No, they're not mirror images of each other. This little ding right here, and that one there, if it focuses, is it going to focus? Yeah, they're completely different. So, the more I look at this, I'm feeling like, no, Hasbro didn't skimp out. There does seem to be a little paint flub right there on the side of his belt buckle. But all in all, the paint looks clean. Let's check out the articulation. Start from the bottom. We got toe-ticulation, which should be standard at this point, again, from Marvel Legends, but isn't. But whatever. We got plenty of movement in the ankle. Okay, good bend on the knee. One thing I prefer, like the higher end stuff like Mafex for, it's like the knee looks a lot more natural. Normal knees do not look like this when they bend, but what can you do for the mass market things you usually find in stores? Gap for the thigh cut seems kind of unsightly, but that's a minor nitpick. Okay, he does a good split, and oh, and the belts and other stuff he's wearing doesn't get in the way of that. That's good. Okay, I've heard people complain about the gumminess at the bicep joint, the bicep and shoulders, but yeah, I can see, I feel like I'm going to have to be careful there. But again, that doesn't look entirely accurate and anatomy-wise, but good functional double-jointed pinless elbows. We do have butterfly joints. They are kind of hindered by this, and they don't... Let's see, can I get a good cross arm? No. This one's better in that regard. Oh well, what can you do? So, few points off there, I suppose. Does get a lot of range backward with that butterfly joint. What is it with a certain joint getting more backward mobility than forward? Like the ab crunches of just about everything, not just with McFarlane DC. Okay, speaking of which, he does bend back pretty good. Forward with... Okay, try just with forward with the reverse ab crunch and the diaphragm joint. Not as much as I'd hope, and it's kind of unsightly there in the back. Kind of gappy right there, but these are just minor nitpicks. You gotta love how you got a joint at the base of the neck. Mine seems a little stiff, though. Do get a lot of head movement, a lot of tilt. Look up. No, look down pretty far. Look up pretty far. Okay, articulation-wise, no, it's probably not going to be beating out the Mafex version anytime soon. And especially not the Revoltech, but it gets the job done. $50 worth when it comes to articulation? No, of course not. But I'm liking the detail, I'm liking the finish. He's got all the articulation, he's got it where it counts. Now let's talk about the accessories. I will admit that he should have come at least with one more head, with like more expressive, wider open eyes. Maybe a fully unmasked head, but this works. I mean, I like the paint detail. I'll zoom in a little. Is it going to focus? Alright, that's good. Yeah, his teeth, you can see a bit of gum. He's got like the smirk going, and this one eye opened wider than the other. This is very useful. This adds to playability a lot. But I do agree that for the price we're paying, at least one more head sculpt should have been thrown in. We got this big old gun that was in the first sleeve of accessories, which is very nice. I've heard some people say it's the same that came with one of the G.I. Joe figures, Rock and Roll, but no, that's not the case. And like I said before, he's got the accessories that I need. I feel just comes standard issue for any Deadpool. He's got the two swords, although I wish they had given him completely new ones. This is the maximum Deadpool. If they were going to not reuse anything, you should have given him better swords. Okay, but he's got his two pistols that we can holster like so. Okay, just like with the Deadpool and Wolverine version, he's got all the weapons that he needs, and he can store them all on his person. So there, we got Deadpool ready to go. What more can I say? I agree, this probably wasn't $50 worth. $35.40 would have been fairer, considering that we could have done with some more accessories, at least one more head sculpt, but for now, just looking at him now, he's doing everything I would expect from a higher-end Deadpool figure with more effort put into it, more sculpting, a bit more paint than usual, a bit more detail than usual. So yeah, like on these arm guards, he's got some of the battle damage too, nicks and cuts. Alright, let's move on and open up the rest of his accessories. Alright, moving on to the second sheet of accessories, but I forgot to mention dupe before. I agree with a lot of people saying that was great in the olden days of Toy Biz, that so much more effort was put into paintwork and detailing, stuff you just don't really see much from Hasbro these days, but there's no question that this dupe blows the original Toy Biz version out of the water. That one was kind of just like a straight up green floating blob. But here, you got subtle sculpt to detail all around, and the paintwork just helps bring everything out. I mean, yeah, the X logo on this dupe is less bombastic and busy than the other one, but I think it makes dupe look all the better for it, and it's stamped on pretty cleanly, and everything else, I'm going to focus, come on, there we go. I mean, again, like with that other Deadpool head sculpt, the sculpting for the teeth and the paintwork there, and the detail in the eyes. And I think the bumps on his head are more subtle. They're not raised as much, but it just looks all the better for it. And we got some articulation, but Dupe's not the most agile guy. Again, he's just a floating green booger, basically. The X-Men Slimer. I am not up on my X-Men lore when it comes to this guy, but this is great. It's almost like having another 2-pack like that one with Agent Bob. You get a whole second character and he looks really good, even if there's not really much articulation. Now moving on to everything else. Deadpool, come on, work with me. Alright, I know what this is. This is an AK-47, and we got 2 color schemes. We got a little paintwork for the straps on the butt of the rifle. It's very good. We got a stick of dynamite since the Revoltech version had a cartoon bomb, so why not? You can have a lot of fun with this thing. And we got a burrito because he loves his Tex-Mex. Let's see if I can get a focus on what it says here. Okay. El something taquita. I don't know. We got this big-ass thing, which I think is from one of the comic runs, his team-ups with Cable. I'm not 100% on that. Again, I am not the master of X-Men lore. And I already took off the gesturing hands he came preloaded with and put on his fists here. Put him up, put him up, put him up. We got his trigger hands for his Desert Eagles or whatever those pistols are. We got accessory gripping hands for his swords. We got and two pointing hands, one of which he came preloaded with. He also came preloaded with the peace sign, and he's also got a thumbs up. So a lot of hands, but you know, some of the import stuff like Mafex and what have you come with 9 or even 10 sets of hands. I know my Mafex Bane did. Maybe some more open gesturing hands would have been nice, but this, you can do a lot with what you got here. Does this all justify the $50 price? No, but I went ahead and got this Deadpool because, again, I thought I saved a lot of money not buying the Deadpool and Wolverine version, not going after the San Diego Comic-Con version with Agent Bob, and passing on both Spider-Man and Hulk's maximum figures. This one is the Renew Your Vows version, and this, I think, was Diamond Select's very first Hulk, the Unleashed version, and this is why I still got representing the character. Again, what's there to be said about the Maximum version that hasn't been said already? But I'm keeping my eyes on the Tease Medsco and 6-inch Plus versions for now. So normally would I say this is worth it? No. Hasbro's getting out of control with their greed. I mean, almost $30 for the main ones now. Good thing the only upcoming regular release I really care about is Rachel Summers. But since I was very good and didn't buy up all the other stuff mentioned, I feel like it was worth it. For me, at least. The rest of you, your mileage may vary. Alright, still having some fun with this Deadpool. I swapped out the head sculpt and gave him his two most interesting accessories. Luckily, the plastic for the accessory holding hands is quite pliable. No getting the stick of dynamite in his Tex-Mex, because, hey, even a mutant-adjacent super assassin has to eat, right? And I keep forgetting to do this, even though I got the tape measure right next to me when I filmed these, so let's measure his height. This Deadpool's at about, just a smidge under 6 3/8 an inch. So that's pretty good for Deadpool, since he's a pretty big guy, like 6'1", and I'm pretty sure it's taller than my other comic book Deadpool, the 80th anniversary retro carded one. Let's see, it's 6 1/4 inches. Yeah, definitely. Come on, new Deadpool, work with me. Because this is a pretty fun figure to have. Deadpool's usually fun to have around in the comics. In the beginning, back in the 90s, I wasn't too impressed with him. I remember reading Wolverine number 88 the first time they ever met, and I didn't think he was that compelling a character. Then I saw some of his old X-Force appearances, I'm like, meh, what's the big deal? To the point that when I saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, I wasn't all that bothered by the obvious changes. I mean, okay, whatever. And the stinger at the end, the post-credit scene, made it so they could do a more accurate version next time. Quit complaining. And then they eventually did with the 2016 movie, which is still my favorite of the Fox X-Men movies. It just felt like such a breath of fresh air. And then in 2018, I got into comics again. What started the domino effect was checking out, well, Gail Simone's Domino, who also was a big part of shaping Deadpool's current personality and just what the character's all about. And even in just that initial run I read, it's like you would pop in and it was just fun to have around. So, you know what? Let's have some more fun with this Deadpool. Let's show him off with a whole bunch of other characters. Let him liven up the party. Okay, let's bring it back to Marvel. We got Deadpool and Dupe, with all of Deadpool's bestest friends among the whole wide Marvel multiverse. Yeah, got some old stuff again, the House Powers of X-Wolverine and Toy Biz Colossus. Though I will upgrade Domino if they give us the long-haired, mid-90s X-Force version in the slinky cat suit. Come on. The updated articulation. But as for Deadpool, he's good. He's probably the best of the new Maximum series Marvel Legends thus far. He's having a lot of fun with them, but is he really $50 worth? I don't know. Having Dupe here serves as a reminder for those of us who remember the Toy Biz days, how much value you got for $10, $15, a comic book, a diorama, and with the old Wave 6 Deadpool, an extra character and loads of accessories. It's $10, $15 then. Does that really equal $50 now? Or even what $20 was back with the Juggernaut wave in 2016? I don't know. Again, I feel it was worth it for me because I skipped out on the last two Maximum MLs and some of the other Deadpools leading up to this. It's a case-by-case basis. Your mileage may vary. I've had a lot of fun, but Hopefully with this and all the other videos that have been hitting about Maximum Series Deadpool, you'll be able to make an informed decision.